Only 1 in 4 homes is selling for over asking the price right now. Back in 2021, it was almost 1 in 2. If you're thinking about selling or if you already have your home on the market, that single number should change how you plan the next 90 days. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. And today, we are talking about something every seller needs to hear before they sign a listing agreement. Here's the headline from Redfin and ResiClub that caught my eye this week. Only about 25% of homes sold in the last cycle closed above their list price. Compare that to 2021, when nearly half of every home in America was getting multiple offers over asking. The market is gone. It is not coming back anytime soon. And if you are a seller, that matters. Now, I want to be careful here. This does not mean the sky is falling. It does not mean home values are crashing. What it means is the market has moved from a frenzy back towards something that looks a lot more like normal. Buyers are taking their time. They're doing inspections again. They're asking for closing cost help. They are negotiating. And in a lot of neighborhoods, negotiation is back on the table. So what does this mean for you? If you're a seller, it means the strategy you used in 2021 and 2022, even last year, probably will not work today. I talked with a family last month who told me we just want to price it high and see what happens. And I get it. That is what everybody did a few years ago. You priced high, you sat back, and you watched the offers roll in. 10, 12, 15 offers in a weekend, 20,000, 30,000, sometimes 100,000 over list. That is not the game anymore. Today, if you price your home too high, here's what happens. Your listing sits. The days on market numbers climbs. Buyers start asking, what is wrong with that house? Your agent starts talking to you about a price reduction. And by the time you finally reduce it, you've already lost the one thing you cannot get back. That first week of momentum. The first week is when your home gets the most eyeballs, the most showings, the most serious buyers. If you blow that week with a price that is too aggressive, you end up selling it for less than you would have if you had priced it right on day one. 3 out of 4 homes today are selling at or below asking. That is the reality. So the winning move is not hoping for a bidding war. The winning move is having a price and exposure strategy that brings the right buyers to your door in week 1. If you want a head start on this, we have put together a free home seller's guide that walks you through the whole process. Pricing, staging, inspections, the timeline, the paperwork, all of it. You can grab it at rsrlinks.com/HSG. rsrlinks.com/HSG. Read it before you sit down with any agent. Now, let me talk about exposure, because this is where most listings fall flat. Exposure is not just sticking a sign in the yard and hoping. It is professional photography that shows off your home in the best light. It is video walkthroughs. It is making sure your home shows up on every major home search site the day it goes live. And it is running a real advertising campaign for your listing. Here is what most sellers do not know. As a lender, I work closely with a network of top realtors. We call them partners for Ron Siegel Radio. When you list your home with one of our realtor partners, their agent gets pushed through a dedicated ad platform on Meta social media. That's Facebook and Instagram. It's also put on streaming television. And those listings are averaging over 30,000 views inside the first 10 days. 30,000 sets of eyes targeted at buyers in your zip code, and the zip code's feeding into it. That's not a sign on the corner. That's not a flyer at the grocery store. That is a real modern marketing machine working for your home while you sleep. And here's the part most sellers miss. It's also about pairing your home with the right financing story for the buyer. Because the buyer today is not just looking at your house. They're looking at the monthly payment. They're looking at the rate. They're looking at whether they can get in with a little help. If your home is marketed with options like payment assistance or a first-time buyer program or a way for the buyer to lock in a payment they can actually afford, you just pulled in a whole new pool of buyers that your neighbor down the street did not. Payment assistance is one of the most powerful tools we offer on the lending side. Here's how it works. A portion of the proceeds from the sale of your home is used to buy down the buyer's interest rate. And I'm not talking about one of those temporary buy downs where the payment goes up after the first year or two. I'm talking about a permanent buy down. The rate is locked in for the life of the loan. The buyer gets a lower payment forever. You get your home sold, everybody wins. Here's a simple move that makes a big difference. Have your listing agent put a clause in the multiple listings, the MLS notes, that says, seller has authorized special financing terms through their approved lender. That one line tells every buyer's agent in town that your home comes with a financing hook they cannot get down the street. You can learn more about how the permanent buy down works at rsrlinks.com/buydown. That's rsrlinks.com/buydown. This is where strategy beats rate always. The rate on the evening news does not sell your house. The monthly payment the buyer can picture themselves making every month, that sells your house. I worked recently with a seller whose home had been sitting with another agent for 60 days, no offers. She was frustrated. We got her connected with one of our realtor partners. New price, new photography, a new story for the buyer that included payment assistance on the financing side. She had an offer accepted in 11 days. Not over asking, but at the number she was happy with in a time frame that let her move on with her life. That's the difference between hoping the marketing does the work for you and building a strategy that does the work for you. If you're thinking about selling in the next 6 months, or if your home is already listed and it is not moving the way you thought it would, I want you to visit rsrlinks.com/salesmax. That's rsrlinks.com/salesmax. It's a free resource that walks you through the exposure and pricing strategy our realtor partners and my lending team use together to help sellers stop guessing and start closing. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a real plan for a real market. I am Ron Siegel, your certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Thanks for listening to the Real Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com.